Hey, Eagle fans! Your Statesboro Walmart is your one-stop shop for all your Georgia Southern football and game day needs. Pick up your GSU sports gear here. We have t-shirts, hats, tote bags, koozies, stadium bleacher seats, car spirit flags, wall pennants, beads, and more right here at the best prices in town. Also, don't forget we can handle all of your tailgating needs with our great food trays, baked goods, and fresh, high-quality meat, seafood, and chicken.
Walmart. Save money. Live better. Walmart.
On this week's show, Georgia Southern names a new head women's basketball coach. We check in with the Eagles spring football and take a look at a couple of big additions to the offensive line. All that and more as we welcome you inside the Eagles Nest. And welcome inside the Eagles Nest. I'm your host, Josh Aubrey, being joined by the newly married Mike Anthony, back from his honeymoon, all ready to hit the ground running, got the ring on and everything. And Mike get right into some Georgia Southern football anytime they're on the field. A lot of people are wondering what's going on. Let's give them an update on how things are going. Of course, last year, Willie Fritz, the first time he'd seen a lot of these players. Now, they've got a year under their belt. He's seen them on the football field during game action. They've done pretty well. I guess a lot of the attention right now is on the offensive line.
Well, last season, so many questions at all positions, just wondering what this team was going to look like. Coach Fritz and the Eagles answered all those questions and rattling off that 8-0 conference record, a conference title in their first year at FBS. But as you mentioned, offensive line, probably the biggest question heading into the 2015 season. 4 of the 5 starters from last year's very impressive offensive line now gone, with the Eagles running it as much as they do. I know they always talk about wanting to pass it more, wanting to be more effective, but running or passing, you're either going to have to make a hole to run through or keep a pocket safe for Kevin Ellison to throw from. So offensive line, it's been a key concern of the last 2 recruiting classes, a couple of junior college transfers, a transfer from UAB as well. So plenty of numbers. It's just a matter of seeing how things shake up, who ends up on that line for the spring game, and then moving forward into fall. All
right, well, let's hear what Coach Fritz had to say about how spring practice is going, and also hear from a couple of those offensive linemen.
Well, you know, the thing we've got to do in order for us to take a step and become a better football team than what we were last year, you know, offensively, we're going to have to throw the ball more effectively. You know, we did a great job in the run game, but we've got to add 50, 60, 70 yards in the passing game. We got to hit some over the top. Nice job of that early in the season. Kind of faded towards the end of the season. We didn't throw the ball as effectively as what we needed to. Defensively, we've got to get some more takeaways. We had 20 over the course of 12 games. We need to be in that 30, 35 range. We do that and do everything else the same as we did last year. We'll be a much better defense. And then in the kicking game, we got to kick and punt better, and then we got to have better return game. We need to get some guys with juice, get the ball in space, and have some big plays in the kicking game as well. So those are the 3 areas that we're really focused on this spring.
Just on my visit, I just felt something special about it, and I asked my aunt about it, asked my pastor about it, asked God about it, and Georgia Southern was still in my mind, still in my heart, so that's why I went.
Had to be frustrating for you finding out the news about UAB. How hard was it to get over that, and are you kind of okay with it at this point, or are you still frustrated?
I mean, yes, I was frustrated for a long time because, you know, you invest so much in trying to build up a program, and you have a lot of friendships, and you build a brotherhood with the guys there. And so, yeah, it took me some time, but, you know, what happens, happens. You got to move on.
How's Georgia Southern's offense compared to UAB?
It's pretty close. You know, the zone reads, everybody still do slide protection, stuff like that, so it's pretty similar, just different terminology.
You look around, there's not a lot of familiar faces for you, but for the coaches, there's a lot of new faces coming in as well.
Yes, sir. I mean, that's just, you know, just normal stuff, making new friends, just building chemistry, going out with the guys, getting to know them, stuff like that.
I felt like Georgia Southern was the right spot for me. All the coaches came talking to me. I talked to my family about it. It seemed like the right decision. They seem to win a lot, so might as well come contribute to some wins.
The offense that Georgia Southern's running, are you familiar with it at all?
It's a little different, but yeah, it's all football. So I've been playing football for years, so it's nothing new.
What's the hardest thing to get used to with Georgia Southern's offense?
Georgia Southern's is the feet work. most of this stuff, they just threw me out in JUCO. So it was just go out there, play every day, practice every day. And here it's all different. You got to learn your steps, learn your plays, learn everything, and go out there and compete.
What do you think about your offensive line teammates? How are you guys getting together?
Oh, we're going good, pretty good. It's getting better every day. There's a couple of seniors on the team, so the seniors lead us, and we just keep moving forward every day.
With more than 100 years of experience under one roof, Complete Car Care on 207 Northside Drive can do it all for your car or truck, gas or diesel, even hybrids, motors, tune-ups, front end, air conditioning, transmissions, electrical. Complete Car Care does it all. When others say no, Complete Car Care says yes. Come see what Michael and his team can do for you at Complete Car Care, 207 Northside Drive.
Starting 2015 with our biggest savings ever.
Drive Corollas with 0 APR plus $1,000 military discount.
Find it at franklintoyota.com. Hurry, everything's on sale at Franklin Toyota in Statesboro.
Well, Mike, moving on to the Georgia Southern baseball team, where they entered last week in first place in the conference, left having only lost 2 of 3, but in 6th place in the conference right now.
And part of that's being early in the season. 1 win, 1 loss can really shoot you up or down in a hurry. Things will level out a little bit, not quite as volatile as we move forward. But you want to stay up there as long as you can. Georgia Southern got off to a great start in conference play with that sweep of App State. Since then, it's been a little bit of feast or famine. There have been some 10-run outbursts. There have been some times where they've been shut out or only gotten a handful of hits. So consistency is key. That's what it's going to take, and what I think is a pretty tough Sun Belt conference. This isn't the same Sun Belt that only sent 1 team to regionals last year. I think that from what we've seen so far, you can expect at least 2, if not 3 teams to be headed to postseason play.
Well, the one team that was on top and made quite a splash last year was University of Louisiana Lafayette. Right now, that's where Georgia Southern's heading this weekend, so another big series for the Eagles where they really are going to have to get things going in order to beat those guys.
And this is probably the series that was circled at the beginning of the year. Georgia Southern always confident on the baseball diamond. They've done it so many times in the regular season and postseason alike in the SoCon. Now they get a chance to go up against a team that reached the very top of the rankings last season. Lafayette lost a good bit from last season's team. However, the guys behind them aren't too far behind what that talent level was, so they got off to a little bit of a shaky start, but the Raging Cajuns certainly seem to have their feet under them. They're playing good ball. It's a long trip out there. It's a hostile environment down there in Louisiana. They pack them in really well. It's going to be a tough 3 games for the Eagles.
Well, you've mentioned that Georgia Southern's been doing pretty well with the pitching. Their hitting has been kind of, they've lost a few games where they haven't hit the ball real well. For the Georgia Southern softball team, it's kind of been the other way around. Their pitching has struggled. Their hitting has kind of been a little bit better than where their pitching is. But then again, they were spoiled the past 4 years, haven't they?
The last couple of years, they were stacked on both sides. They had Sarah Purvis, one of the best pitchers in the country, much less just the conference. And the hitting also there. They were able to pummel some teams. They were able to outduel others. This year, not quite the case. Of course, Sarah Purvis gone. The pitching, not what it used to be. And we talk about baseball taking a little bit of a step up in conference play. It's night and day when you compare the Southern Conference and the Sun Belt in terms of softball. This is a conference that's routinely ranked in the top 5 in the country in terms of RPI. So the Eagles definitely taking a step out of the kiddie pool and diving right into the ocean this season.
All right, well, let's take a look at some of the highlights from the UL Monroe games from this past weekend. Georgia Southern hosting UL Monroe in the first of a 3-game series Saturday at Eagle Field, up 3-0. The visitors pile it on in the first. Vanessa Garcia, the 3-run homer, and the Warhawks take a 6-0 lead. The Eagles able to respond, though, with one on. Emily Snyder, the deep drive to center. This off the wall for a double, putting runners on second and third for Morgan Robinson, who singles down the right field line. Both runners score, and it's 6-2. To the third we go, and again it's Snyder doing the damage, this time up, and away to right. Solo shot made it 6-3. More to come. One on for Caitlin Johnson, who drives this one deep to center. Good for a double, and the lead cut to 2. Lexi Allen makes it a 1-run game with this hot shot into left. It wouldn't be enough, though. The Eagles lose game 1 8-6 and drop the nightcap 7-5. So we move to Sunday Georgia Southern trying to avoid being swept, trailing 4-0. The Eagles start a rally in the fourth. Michelle Mazur with the single into left. This would load the bases, but unfortunately that's the way things would end, as this pop-up to left ends the inning and the rally. Taylor Rogers preventing any further damage as she covers some ground and makes a couple of nice plays in center field. In the fifth, again, the Eagles trying to get something going. Emily Snyder with the one-out double to left. Again, runner left in scoring position, though, as the pop fly to center ends the inning. On the mound, Heather Felt doing a good job shutting the Warhawks' bats down for the fourth, fifth, and sixth innings. And when they did get a base runner, A.J. Hamilton pitching in as well, as she guns the runner down at second. But the Eagles unable to get their bats going, and in the seventh, the Warhawks tack on a couple more on the two-run homer to left by Faith Bohawk. The Eagles fall in this one by a final count of 6-0. And Mike, wrapping things up, we have a new head women's basketball coach, Kip Drown, who comes from Colorado State Pueblo. Your thoughts on bringing him on board? It seems like a lot of our coaches have been younger, and now we're going with a little more seasoned veteran.
Definitely an interesting choice. I don't know how many Eagles fans have heard of Kip Drown, much less Colorado State Pueblo, but the search committee seemed to have taken its time, a 2-week search, ended up turning up Kip Drown. He's got a long, successful tenure, 27 years as a head coach. And you talk about hiring the younger coaches. To me, this seems like the same blueprint that Georgia Southern went through to turn up Willie Fritz. Here's a coach who's succeeded at lower levels. He's taken programs that were struggling, gotten them on track in a hurry. He's done it at the NAIA level, the Division II level, and now he gets his chance. As he said, it was his dream to be a Division I coach. Now he's got that chance, and he's certainly got another project on his hands with the women's basketball team.
All right, well, here's what Coach Drown had to say about heading to Statesboro.
This community expects to win. They want to win. And I told him, I said, I don't want to go anywhere that doesn't want to win. I don't want to go anywhere that doesn't want to have a passion for being the very best they can be. So that part of the job does not bother me at all. So yes, to come here with this, to get this kind of tradition, which is hard to find, and that kind of passion, which is hard to find, yeah, that's a dream job. When I was growing up, I had a sign on my wall that said, today's the first day of the rest of your life. That's how we're viewing this as a team. Today is the start of a new era in women's basketball at Georgia Southern, and we're going to work hard, and we're going to put a great product on the floor, something that the entire university can be proud of. I love D2. It was a great level, but I have always had that drive and that desire to coach at this level.
Well, that'll wrap things up for this week. For Mike Anthony, I'm Josh Aubrey. Thanks for joining us. Hope to see you again next week.